Hello, all of my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. And as you can see, we are back for the fall. And this is our kickoff stream. This is our falling forward stream. So we're going to listen to some gems as everybody flows into the live as always. Come on in. Tag a friend. Send it to a different friend. Send it to another friend. Send it to their mama, their grandma, and their cousin. Because we're going to get real deep on what the chocolate box has to offer this season, as well as some surprises and a nice conversation. So if you have any questions for the chocolate box creator, go ahead and click our questions icon. And make sure you submit a question about what the chocolate box has to offer. But first, go ahead and share it. Share this live to like 3 people. We're about to share it right now, but listen to some music while we go ahead and share our live. Again, go ahead and jam out to some music with us before we start. Also remember that if this is your first live, thank you for stepping into should tell those 2 people to share with 2 more people so that we can get all the people we can into our first fall live stream. Alrighty, we're gonna jam out some more. I just want to thank everybody who is in the room right now. Thank you to all of my guys, gals, and non-binary pals for stopping by to the first segment of the fall, which is falling forward. I want you all to share this with 3 other people. Have those 3 people share it with 3 other people. And then have those 3 people share it with 3 other people. While we're waiting, we're going to play some music. So relax, decompress from your day, and let's go. Again, if you have any questions about what the chocolate box has to offer this fall, go ahead and drop those questions down below in our question box. Or you can type it in the chat and we'll definitely answer them throughout the night. Alrighty, y'all. We'll get this thing started in about 2 more minutes. Like I said, go ahead and invite a friend. Tell that friend to invite a few friends because we are going to kick this off strong. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Come on into our first live of the fall. We are falling forward all of November, which means that I'm going to tell you a little bit of how the chocolate box got created, how we got here, as well as tell you our surprises that we have for this season. So go ahead and share this live with 2 other people. Tell those 2 people to share with 2 people, and boom, we have a live full of people.
Some people say they want to live forever. That's way too long. I'll just get through the day without any complications. Does it always gotta be so complicated? When I'm way too young to be getting old, and all I wanna do is look, but I can't see, baby. Who you talking to? Why you talking to me, baby?
Alrighty. Welcome, all of my guys, gals, and non-binary pals to the very first live of the fall. The fall is our November series here at the Chocolate Box. I hope you all have taken time to look at our Moesha inspired promotion for the Chocolate Box this month. Now, we love the 90s, and we love how the 90s came together and showed us Black love. It showed us all of the conflicts that we might have, and then it also showed us how to overcome what we're going through. And that is definitely what the Chocolate Box wants to show every member in the Black community how to do, especially during this month. So I'm scrolling up and I see that the Daily Tough Fitness 2 asked a really important question. What is the Chocolate Box about? So, greetings. My name is Makaela Reed. I am the creator of the Chocolate Box. And the Chocolate Box is a digital hub for Black creators to get inspired and to use those tools in life. So we give a space specifically for Black creatives, no matter what capacity you are in, to learn and to also have those conversations that might be really tough for the Black community to have. That is our initiative from the beginning, and it'll continue to be our initiative until we close out. The beautiful schedule for the fall. Today you have Falling Forward. That is with me. I am your Falling Forward host today. We have a special surprise for you all on November 5th, it's a secret. I might drop the surprise at the end of this live. So if you're excited about that, go ahead and put some heart this up, and share it to 3 other people because you want them to know the surprise too. After that, we have our series Black Bodies and Black Spaces coming out on November 9th. As many of you have seen, we have 1 episode of Black Bodies and Black Spaces on our YouTube. That episode features Jalen X. He is a phenomenal artist, and he talks a little bit about his growing pains. He talks about how he heals and how he overcomes. And what you can be looking out for in our next episode of Black Bodies, Black Spaces is Earl the Poet. Earl the Poet gives us how she celebrates, how she decides to celebrate even when it is a painful time in her life. She just decides to grow and keep going and putting one foot in front of the other, which is a beautiful example of what we're doing here at the Chocolate Box. Our Black Body, Black Spaces, those conversations are pre-recorded conversations that you can tap into on our YouTube. Our YouTube is under The Chocolate Box. The Chocolate Box, THA, Chocolate Box. Alrighty. And then after, we have Falling in Love with Me on November 11th. On November 11th, we will have Mona and Lakeisha step into the box to have conversations about how they fell in love with themselves, their self-love journey, and how they got here. Because everybody needs to go through those stepping stones to see, hey, I can do it. And we want you all to take away anything that you need, all of the nuggets that you get during that conversation. We want you all to pull from them in your hardest times and your times where you're succeeding in your growth journey. We really want you all to pull from those examples. We'll also have a few guests that are well known on both the Instagram platform and the TikTok platform that'll come and sit in with us, talk to us, chat about their growth journey really briefly. Afterwards, we have Falling for You. Falling for You will be out on November 19th. We are partnering with a phenomenal platform. We're going to and wait to tell you what platform that is. But we are partnering with a phenomenal platform that reaches HBCUs and also covers the dating scene in HBCU life. And we're going to bring forth conversations on how couples fell in love and how the couples we see on social media, that we see in the news, that we see are loving each other, that are exhibits of black love. We see how they struggle. We're going to see how they overcome those struggles. And then more importantly, we're going to see how they promote black love on a daily basis. After that, we have another episode of our Black Bodies, Black Spaces on November 20th. We want to remind you all to always think that we are in a black space no matter how far we go. You can be surrounded in a sea of whiteness, surrounded in a sea of people that you don't necessarily know. However, you carry with you your community. You carry with you how you move forward, how you pivot, how you change the game. And our episode of Black Bodies, Black Spaces on November 20th is going to feature a poet that does it oh so well. We are going to be featuring She's So Cold. As She's So Cold talks us through how she has hard times in her life, but how she continues to move forward and look beautiful while doing it. And then finally on November 24th, we have our holiday surprise. Now, some of the old heads here, some of my old chocolate drops, y'all know what we do during the holidays. So y'all know exactly what to look forward to. However, my new chocolate drops, I'm going to need y'all to wait and come back, put y'all post notifications on, and see what the chocolate box has in store for the holidays. Because the holidays is the time that we love. We're going to fall, but we're going to get back up and we're going to celebrate those holidays. So just to run down and run it back, our first event, Falling Forward, November 2nd, which is me, a conversation with your creator. On November 5th, we have a secret surprise. I might reveal the surprise at the end of this live, but we have a secret surprise. We have our episode of Black Bodies, Black Spaces on November 9th, which is just us focusing on black artists, sitting down and having those conversations about how they overcame. Our next Black Bodies, Black Spaces will be with Earl the Poet, a phenomenal poet that definitely knows what it means to grow even when you are suppressed. After that, we have Falling in Love with Me on November 11th, where we feature Lakeisha as well as Mona. And those conversations are going to be more intimate with our panelists, where we talk to them and we see their journey and we ask them, hey, how did you overcome that? And how do you still love yourself even though things might be going crazy in life right now? And in that panel, we will have our special guest, which you may know off of TikTok or off of Instagram. I'm going to keep that under wraps. I'm going to keep it quiet for you all. You have to definitely tune in on the 11th to see exactly who we're talking about. And then on November 18th, we have Falling for You. The Chocolate Box is partnering with a brand that promotes Black love and promotes dating in HBCUs to bring to you conversations where couples sit down, have that conversation on how they've overcome, have that conversation on Black love, and then also tell us a little bit of how they love their partner and how they agree to disagree and how they maneuver through a relationship healthy. After that, on November 20th, we have Black Bodies, Black Spaces. This will be our closeout episode for November, meaning this Black Bodies, Black Spaces is going to feature a phenomenal woman that changes the game with every step, that decides to spread love and light to every single person she is near, and that is none other than the phenomenal She So Cold. If you know her, you know her. If you don't, go ahead and follow her. After that, we have a holiday surprise. Which, if you are an older chocolate drop and you've been here since the beginning, you know what we do during the holidays. But if you're new, definitely turn on your post notifications. I want all of you all to remember that we operate off of Instagram, TikTok, and we operate off of YouTube. So if you missed a live stream, the live stream will be on Instagram or it will be on YouTube. It normally is uploaded the day after on YouTube, and then it's uploaded right now in real time on Instagram. Alrighty? Our TikTok content will be our shorter content where you get to see the highlights of what's going on. You get to see, oh, I missed the conversation, but I'm going to get back to it. But Lakeisha said something really thought-provoking during that conversation. And you see her go through navigating life for a smaller point of time, right? So I want all of you all to stop by the chocolate box, to tune in, to step into the box every single day this fall. I want you all to go ahead, stop, turn on your post notifications, turn on your post notifications for our Instagram, for our TikTok, and for our YouTube, because you don't want to miss a second of the phenomenal people who are going to be here on the box. So now that I see we got some of our chocolate drops in, go ahead and drop us some questions. What do you want to hear from us this season, and what do you want to see from us this season? Do you have any questions about how we decided to become the chocolate box? Do you have any questions about us coming back? What are your questions? Because we want to answer them now. So now that we have that out of the way, we can come back on the fall. Our topic tonight is falling forward. If you have any questions on falling forward or my journey to get to here, definitely go and either drop it in our comment section or drop it in our little question bubble right there. It should be right there on your screen. And then I will look at them and answer them. First, I start with the origin story of the box, because you have to see, hey, this is the journey to understand how every day we are going to fall forward. We're going to fall, but we always decide if we're going to fall backwards or we're going to fall forward into our purpose. So the chocolate box was founded on October 10th, 2020. October 10th, 2020. So we were in the height of the pandemic. The suicide rates had went up through HBCU students. And I decided to sit back and be like, okay, we have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of adversity that we're facing, and we're using social media as a lens to see all of it. So we can either use that lens to break us down, or we can decide to have those tough conversations and see how we recover. In that moment, I reached out to some phenomenal artists, to some phenomenal therapists, and I also reached out to HBCU students, as well as college students, Black college students. And we sat down, and our first conversation was about Black mental health. Now, the footage that you see on the box is footage about an hour long. However, that conversation lasted for, I know, 2 hours and 30 minutes. And it was beautiful. It was one of the most revitalizing things to see. In that moment, I had to decide to be vulnerable enough to give the box a piece of myself, as well as vulnerable enough to understand and open enough to understand that these are my feelings currently and that we have to work through our feelings. So in that moment, during filming, I was kind of crying. I turned off the camera and I was like, oh my God, can't nobody see me cry. But I worked through the one part that's supposed to move us forward. So I acknowledge that, yes, I'm falling. I'm falling really hard. However, I moved through that with a purpose. I decided, okay, yeah, it's really dark. I'm sitting here and I'm creating a platform that I love. However, what if it fails? What if I don't make it? What if nobody looks at the platform? What if I'm doing this in vain? And I kind of had to double back and be like, no. If I fall, we fall gracefully and we fall forward and we keep going. The reason why I used Offset in our promotion for today is because Offset said something so beautiful. He said that he always has a plan A and never has a plan B, because if he doesn't have a plan B, then that forces him to work on that plan A. I understand everybody might have a plan B of if it might not happen, but we're not thinking about if it might not happen. It will happen. We're speaking things into existence as though they were, and they're going to happen. So with the chocolate box, we had a string of conversations that were about the Black community, that were about healing, that were about Black women in tech, that were about Black women navigating real estate, as well as how we as Black people can elevate. As a hub for Black creatives, all of those topics are something that mean the world to me. However, I found myself hosting these panels, and y'all see this beautiful smile that I'm giving you all, but in the same meaning, in the back of my head, I was suffering through imposter syndrome. And I was sitting there like, you did this. But in the back of my head, I was like, but should you be having this conversation? Should you be leading this conversation? Are you qualified to even talk about this? Which was a lot for me. However, in that moment, I decided to go to a therapist. I'm really big on Black therapy. I went to my therapist and kind of had a conversation about why I'm feeling this way. And why can't I get through a panel without trying to double back and being like, ooh, I don't know if I should be having this conversation. Am I qualified? Because the people that I've seen do it are always these big people who are super educated, who are in the room. And one day, my mother, the mother of the chocolate box, spoke to me and told me that your names will be in the room before you are. And if you look at the homecoming footage from 2021, you'll see her say, sometimes you got to put your foot in it. And once you're in the room and your presence is known, you'll never be in a room that you're not meant to be in. Right? So that is the transparent moment that I had to have, the fall that I had to take, and had to fully fall and process my fall before I can go forward. Because I almost went back, y'all. Y'all almost didn't see the rest of the chocolate box because of those insecurities. However, falling forward meant, okay, I'm going to go for bigger and better, which I want all of you to do right now. Don't think, it's a TikTok out there that say you think it's small. We gotta think big. We gotta think big. Regardless of who you are, we have to think big as a community. So nothing is impossible in my mind. So at this point, falling forward looks like, hey, I'm here. I may get this opportunity, I may not. but I miss 100% of the shots that I don't take. So I'm going to scroll up. I had a transparent question on what motivates me to fall forward. So my motivation comes from the thought process that it used to be that I have a little sister. My little sister is the best person in the world. But I have a little sister, and I want my little sister to feel like she can do anything. Right? But she wouldn't feel like she can do anything if her big sister is like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm never taking risk. So originally, my reason why and my motivation was so that I could show my little sister like, hey, it can be done. But then as I was walking in my purpose, as I decided to be like, okay, God, where we going? Then I decided, hey, I'm seeing more people look at me and be like, hey, girl, I see what you're doing. And then in that moment, you realize that eyes are on you. And that as long as you keep walking, you're inspiring everybody. And I want all of you all to take that away. As long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, you are in constant motion and you are moving forward. If you fall and stumble, at least you know that one foot is in front of the other, so you're stumbling forward. You're going somewhere, but you're keeping the pace, steady pace. So what motivates me now is to know that I want better for our community. I also want to see a platform where, hey, it doesn't matter if you have $10,000, if you have $5, if you have $30 million, you can step into this platform and learn. You can evaluate, you can apply, and you also can be a part of greatness. My biggest motivator is that I want to be the change that I want to see, right? I want to be the change that I want to see. Meaning that we can all say, hey, somebody else doing that, so I'm good. But you're not good. Because you have a uniqueness about you. And if you're you unapologetically, then that uniqueness will spill over into your work, will spill over into your business, will spill over into your day-to-day, will spill over into your nonprofit, will spill over into you just sitting in class and being like, hey, let me answer this question because I know the answer. Because then after that, you're actively changing the environment around you. So that's my motivation. I always want to be the change that I want to see. Again, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and drop it either in our comment section or in our bubble. Let me check the bubble real quick. Alrighty. So a little bit more of my journey means that I decided to make a leap, and in December of 2020, I decided that we were going to do our holiday special. Now, if you know me, you know that your girl loves some Christmas. Christmas is definitely what I love. And this holiday special, I'd only seen people with budgets of a whole lot of money do. But in my head, I was so determined to give the Black community the experience that you experience when you see Michael Bublé at every single year. My thought process was, hey, if I can give the Black community something to look at and be like, that's a special where I see people like me and they're celebrating Christmas, that would make my world. That would be my Christmas. So I reached out to some phenomenal poets, some phenomenal chefs, and I reached out to the people closest to me because regardless of what media says, sometimes the people closest to you will do a lot more than you give them credit to do, but you just have to ask. So in the production of Hot Chocolate, you had Fortune Owenale, who is a phenomenal poet, who decided that he was going to spit poetry. You had Jasmine Bolden, who is a phenomenal poet as well, who spit some great poetry. You had Jalen Bolden, who is a singer, who decided that he was going to sing. He gave us Run Run Rudolph, which is still the best song, Run Run Rudolph, here in the United States. We had some phenomenal Black college students who decided to do the do's and don'ts of Christmas. They decided to do a sing-along for the children who were watching. And then we had Little Reed, Marcus Reed, a rapper in Houston, who decided to teach us how to make hunch punch. And if you knew anything about that, everybody's tagline was Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, all that good shit. Everybody loved that tagline. So he gave us the humor. And then you had Davinia Reed and Madison Reed, who came in with all of our reindeer games that year. And then you had our resident daughter of Santa Claus, who came in and decided to say, hey, the spiritometer is not raised. We got to get our spirits all the way up. And in a way, I created this to show that anything is possible. Which leads me into our secret for November 5th. November 5th, we are casting for our hot chocolate special. We are partnering with Chief Ikenna Productions. And we are casting for a theatrical production. So we're casting for a theatrical production of Hot Chocolate. Don't tell nobody, because I just told y'all. And y'all are the people that know. So, the holidays is something I hold dear to my heart. And that was the first point of me trying to take one step in front of the other. Now, I'm a little impatient, so I pushed it out on live and I had it going for half a day on Christmas Eve and then on Christmas morning. And my biggest transparent moment, I put all this work into it, and my team had put all this work, and my cast had put all this work, and it seemed like it wasn't picking up speed. It seemed like people just were like, oh, let's pop into the live, let's pop out. And nobody actually watched and laughed and had fun. That's what it seemed like to me. So in that moment, I decided to be like, oh, maybe I should take it down. Maybe I shouldn't even. I went in over my head. Oh my goodness. Like in that moment, I was like, oh, I should take that down because maybe nobody likes it. But right when I thought that, all of my family sent me messages like back to back, like, you're doing great. Like, we are over here laughing at the storyline. We are over here loving and singing along to it. My friends, they were like, we're singing along to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer right now and Frosty the Snowman. And then even some chocolate drops who I had never met decided that they were going to step into the box and type a comment that was like, hey girl, we love this. Our family is watching this. And that gave me the drive to keep going. And that next year we produced. I see that. Where's the production taking place? Alrighty. So our production is taking place in Houston, Texas. It is taking place in Houston, Texas. We are in the early stages, but we are putting out our casting call on November 5th. So if you know any talent that is in Houston, Texas, let them know to audition. Because we are going to thoroughly look through every single person. And we are going to try to create a production. Not try to. We are going to create a production that is written by a Black woman, me. That is produced by a Black woman and a Black man, myself and Chief Ikenna. And that cast all Black people. That is what we're going to do. And we're going to have it for Christmas and have a scenario where you step into the box and you're indulged in a story. And you become a part of our North Pole in Houston, Texas. I see I have a few questions. What is your vision for the chocolate box? So I'll speak on on the Christmas vision and then on our huge vision. So my vision for the chocolate box is to, of course, I created it to have a hub. But if I was speaking to myself in 10 years, what I would hope is that we have a spot, a hub, a physical address that is the chocolate box. I want to branch out and have a space for Black high school students, Black college students, if they want to pick up courses and look and see, hey, okay, I want to get into tech. I want to get into tech theater, but I don't know how to get into tech theater. For them to come to our physical address and take those classes and be able to learn and like evaluate. I also see us having one event every month because I feel like it's really good to get us out of the house, collaborate with each other, and network. Because if we can network and somebody who sells sneakers can get with somebody that sells bags, can get with somebody who does marketing and social media, can get with somebody who owns a farm that like mass produces things, that's what our community needs. So my vision for the chocolate box is to have a physical hub for the Black community to come into, to experience those panels, to be a part of the conversation, and ultimately a launch pad for change. I do also see us producing more productions. I see us deciding to expand and partner with other brands to bring their brand to the forefront and to actually have those conventions where you see Black artists, where you're not just, hey, this is ticket number 12657, where you're actually, okay, hey, this is Makaela, she owns the chocolate box, and we're going to maneuver her into the Black women in business panel, like tailor-made panels for you all. So that's my vision for the chocolate box. Okay. In the falling of creating that vision, a lot of times I sat back and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Because in the back of my head, I was way in over my head. And I really want to encourage everybody here tonight to look out for your support system. Your support system might not be family. Your support system might be your friends. Your support system might be your great grandma. Like, your support system might not be the people that you think it is. But look out to those people who give you the shoulder to cry on. To those people who decide, hey, look, you slacking right now, get it together. Get it together. For me, my mama was always the get it together. We got to do this. Because if you don't do it, who will? So I reached out to my friends, and sometimes my friends reached out to me and was like, hey, you're slacking. Or, hey, what's going on? Hey, why haven't I seen the chocolate box? You'll know your support system when you find it. You don't have to force a bind with the support system, because those are the people that are vital in your falling. Because if you fall and there's nobody there that picks you up, those are not your support systems. However, when you fall, you can push yourself. You have to have enough strength to push yourself back up. But those people in your support system that grab your left arm and your right arm and like, okay, come on, we're going to get up. You're going to get up, and then you use your strength and they use their strength to pull you up so you can be good. That's your support system. So while I was falling forward in some aspects, my support system was pulling me up and was like, hey, we love this. I know that you're feeling down and you're judging yourself, but we love this. To speak more to the imposter syndrome, a lot of times we see where we want to be. And we see those moguls of, hey, this person is leading the country in their field. Like, we see the Viola Davis. I'll use her for example. However, if you see Viola Davis and you want to become Viola Davis, that's who you want to be. you also have to acknowledge that she struggled to get to the top. That's just a simple acknowledgement. It wasn't just overnight, that's Viola Davis. No. She had her days where she was sitting in her room like, oh, I don't know. She had her days where she was brushing her sister's hair, trying to get her ready for school, going to school, not making the auditions, trying to figure out her life. She had those days. And even during her career, when her career jumped off and we realized she was a great actress, the community around her didn't really realize it. So she had those moments, and I want you all to be encouraged to, even in those dark times where you're like, okay, well, I didn't get this. I didn't do this. A lot of times, if you are a Black business owner, we might enter pitch competitions, and that's a battleground. However, in those moments, in those rooms, make those connections. A lot of times, because we're so focused on whether we win or lose, we forget to make those connections. Make those connections. If you see a fellow person in the community that is selling lip gloss, make that connection. You might need some lip gloss. Like, you might want to partner, because just like one of our chocolate box said, we're stronger together. So in those moments where you are moving forward, remember to make those connections. We'll touch on our falling aspect and then touch on our forward aspect. So, to fall can mean that you go into the darkest place. It can mean that you scuff your knees and you get back up. But when we're falling forward, no matter how hard we fall, no matter how hard we take that L, we turn those L's into lessons. And our lessons are going to be used for us to have a comeback. And it'll be a blessing at the end of the day, because it'll add to our testimony. Right? That's what we're doing. All November and the rest of y'all's lives, we are turning our L's into lessons, our lessons into blessings, and we're using that to move forward. Right? As the creator of the chocolate box, I would not be me if I didn't do an icebreaker and then ask our last question of the night. It's really odd to do an icebreaker for myself, but my icebreaker: if I could create a bag that was just like me, what would it look like? All right. So my bag would be like a hexagonal shape, because I feel like I'm really great at a lot of different things. But it would be colorful. It'd probably be colorful, and it would mix sequins with like polka dots. And it would probably be pink. And then have our handle would probably be pearls. Because I believe that a statement bag is that bag for you. And then if you are a chocolate drop, you know what this last question is going to be. If I could write a letter to me 5 years ago, what would my last line be? I feel like my last line would be, turn your L's into lessons. Turn your lessons into blessings. And keep on moving forward, regardless of what the world says. And then I'll put like XOXO Makaela. Because I feel like that's something that we all need to take away. If you don't take away nothing from falling forward tonight, remember to turn your L's into lessons, your lessons into blessings, and use those blessings to move forward. Alrighty? So, thank you all for stepping into the box. If you are still here, go ahead and push those post notifications. Go ahead and turn those on for YouTube and for Instagram. Go ahead and make sure you are following all of our pages at THA Chocolate Box. Again, THA Chocolate Box. In November, we are falling forward. We are falling in love with us. And we are falling in love with every aspect that makes us great. So I want you all to go out. Tell one person that you love them tonight. Tell one person that they need to turn their L's into lessons, their lessons into blessings tonight. And make that impact and be the change that they want to see. Of course, thank you all for stepping into the box tonight. And I hope to see you all for the rest of the fall.